Alright guys, hey everybody and welcome back to my channel. So now today's my day off, so I have plenty of time to film, but it's a little bit hard to find place to film because everywhere it's pretty crowded. So what do I want to talk about today? And actually today I want to talk about my first experience of coming to China, because I saw so many videos on YouTube of people talking about their first experience of coming to China. Oh, that's a very lovely alley, let's go there. And they all share about how amazing their first experience is. And you know that if you watched many of my videos, you know that I love China, I love this country, and I absolutely love people here, the technologies, the culture and everything. But my first experience here was quite shitty, I would say. Let me explain. A lot of people, they come here as tourists, and so they go to big touristic cities, and they immediately get in the middle of this amazing life with all these bright colors, touristic places and so on, so on. But for me, when we first came here, we came here not as tourists. We came here to work, because before coming to China, I've been working in Deloitte as a tax accountant, actually. And everything was great, but there was just, the workload was enormous. And because of that, I started to get bald. My wife started to get gray hair. And because all of this, we decided that we need to change the environment. We need to do something new or live in some other place. And at that time, our friend said, why guys, you don't try to go to China and to teach. Yeah, so our job in China was an English teacher, basically. Why is it so? Because I have a master's degree in English linguistics, my wife as well, and we've been teaching English for a couple of years, even before coming to China. So yeah, we thought, all right, yeah, sounds good. And we found an agency that found work for us. And remember that it was 6 years ago. And they found a position for us in a small city. We didn't know anything about different cities in China. At that time, there were not that many bloggers living in China and talking about life in China. So we just basically chose a random name and we thought, okay, let's go there. That sounds fun. We Googled a little bit, but in total, it was almost random. And so we arrived to a pretty small city. And you see, this city is so small that when I mention it to my Chinese friends, they very often they don't know what I'm talking about. They don't know what city it is. And that was our first city, and when we first arrived, everything was covered with fog. And if you stay outside long, you start to feel the taste of this fog in your mouth. So, and when I checked the air quality app, it said that the pollution in this area is in red zone. So my first impression was like, wow, how come China is so polluted? Oh my God. And so we were living there for like a month or around this time. And every time I had a call with my friends or my family members and they asked me, oh, how is it out there? I said, oh, everything is kind of cool, but the weather just sucks and the climate sucks because I cannot see the blue sky. I cannot see, almost cannot see the sun because of the fog, because of the pollution. And so that was one thing. But you see, actually, when we eventually moved to other cities and we started to experience life in other cities, we saw the blue sky, the clean air, the like amazing scenery, because in that city you could just see for like 10 miles and that's all. You couldn't see mountains or the horizon at all. So, but in other cities we actually discovered that it is possible. And then when my Chinese improved and I started to kind of Google information about my small city, I found out that it was a coal mining city, and that's why it was so polluted. That's why the pollution was on such an insane level, and that kind of put everything on its places. But yeah, the first kind of impression stayed. Yeah, all right, but it's about the climate. But that was actually not the biggest thing that affected our perception of China. The biggest thing was one person, and basically that was a manager at my work. There was a person who, it was kind of a principal. She didn't own the school, but she ran the school. And that was a hell of an experience. First of all, when I think about it now, I know that it was it was super weird, and there were so many red flags that we didn't pay attention to, but we should have. So let me explain. Basically, when we moved to China, we were met by that woman who was my principal. And in the first day she said, guys, China welcomes you, everything is amazing here, but please don't you ever talk with locals. I was like, why? What's wrong? And she said, well, basically, you know that there are so many illegal foreigners in China that work here, but they actually cannot legally work here. They cannot even legally stay here. So basically, the government announced some sort of a hunt for foreigners. So, and for all locals who come and snitch on foreigners who live in that city, they will pay like some fees, some bonus, I don't know. And so a lot, and she said that all local people, they see foreigners as money bags. And when the foreigner sees, basically everybody starts to film him, everybody starts to take pictures of him to run to the police station and report on this person. And so basically she said, guys, you should not worry, all the papers are good, you work here officially, you work here legally, no problem at all. But don't talk with locals because they will just cause you troubles. And at that moment I was like, oh, okay, thank you very much for telling us this. Well, I couldn't speak any Chinese. I didn't have any friends or any contacts except her in China. And then we kind of lived there, and sometimes locals would come to us and try to talk to us, but we were so paranoid. We were thinking like, oh shit, I'm talking with him and he even asked to take a picture together. Now probably he's at the police station. He's already telling that, oh, there is a suspicious foreigner, please deport him or something. So that was crazy. That was so dumb. Right now I realize that. But at that moment I had no information about that. And that was like 6 years ago. So you see, the thing is that after some time, we actually met a foreigner on a street. Oh, no. Actually, that manager introduced us to a couple of foreigners because we kept asking her to introduce us to some foreigners because we kind of needed friends and so on. And eventually she said, okay, yeah, guys, let's go. I will invite these foreigners to have lunch together and you can meet. And but she said that you should never discuss work with them. Why? According to her, all foreigners are in an insane competition for work in China. And she said that basically if these foreigners learn about how amazing my salary is in China or how amazing the work conditions are, they will do their best, they will do whatever it takes to get my job, to get rid of me and to replace me at my work. And so she was saying these like crazy things, these creepy things that everyone is snitching on everyone is stabbing each other in the back, that foreigners cannot be trusted, that locals cannot be trusted. So at that moment we already started to think that, damn, it gets a little bit creepy and too weird. But she was like super friendly, she was always smiling, giving a lot of presents, inviting for lunch. So basically, in total, she made an impression of a really, really nice woman. And we trusted her. But eventually, we started to talk with these foreigners more. Then we met more foreigners, and we became like good friends after some time. And we started to discuss work. Well, eventually, and we found out that 90% of what she was saying to us is bullshit. Basically, even about the salary, even about the contract, the work environment, and the work conditions. All of this is not that great. And these foreigners said that, guys, they are basically exploiting you. So you should really be careful. Let me put it here. Yeah, so basically, when they told us this, it was an eye-opening for us, but we still had some hesitations because that woman looked so friendly and she helped us with so many things. She was always taking us to police, helping us with visa issues and so on, so on. And we couldn't understand whom to believe because that woman was saying that all the foreigners will try to deceive us, especially local foreigners, because she knows all of them and they are lying. They are like horrible people. And we didn't know whom to trust. And after several months, we need to have a flight to Shenzhen and then take a subway to Hong Kong. And basically, you need to understand that all these months we were living in this tiny, tiny little city, this coal mining city in the middle of Shanxi province. And when we got to Shenzhen, we were just blown away. We were stunned because that's a huge megapolis. That's an insane, like modern cyberpunk city that just, I don't know, surpasses all your expectations. And when we went to Hong Kong, it's also amazing. But eventually, what happened at that moment? We kind of saw what the real China is. Not this small little town with some weird lady telling us scary stories, but the huge, advanced in technology, in culture, with amazing people. We saw it there in Shenzhen for the first time, and we met more foreigners, and foreigners there told us that, guys, they are bullshitting you 100%. And after hearing these from so many people and being in different places, we kind of understood that, okay, it is time for us to change something. And we decided to change job, to find another boss, and then eventually to move to another city. But that first experience was quite shitty, and it lasted for too long. And we got lucky that we didn't allow all of this to affect us, because many people, when they meet this kind of situation, they just decide that, oh, it's not for me, I want to go back to my country, and they just move away and never come back. And then they tell all their friends that, oh, this country is so bad, like the people are so bad and everything is horrible. But thankfully we decided to stay, to kind of get deeper and to understand how the life really is. And we found out that actually the country is great, the people are great, life is great, and all our first month were just filled with weird lies, with some weird threats and some just nonsense. So yeah, guys, that was basically my first experience in China, my first several months in China. That went pretty bad, but I'm still grateful that it happened, because it allowed me to come to China and eventually get deeper into this culture, eventually move to amazing places, move to Kunming, which I love, and meet amazing people, Chinese people that I know and I befriend now. So yeah, even though that experience was quite crappy, I am still grateful that it happened with me. Because who knows where I would be if not that experience. So guys, thank you. Let me know if you had any interesting experiences in other countries and if you had any cultural shocks. It's always interesting to know your opinion. So thanks guys, and see you in one of the next videos. Bye bye.